and see me okay, please let me know in the chat, which is working. Yes, it's working. And as people mentioned, the thumbnail and the time zone was wrong. I'd created way too many thumbnails for this weekend, so apologies for the thumbnail having the wrong day on it. Sunday is not the 24th of October. And yeah, it's 12 o'clock CDT. Audio is okay. Fantastic. So it's my last stream of Spiel weekend. It's been 4 days of live streams, 5 if you count the Wednesday night. And I'm going to be doing one more tutorial and playthrough of Agemonia. So this is the 4th one that I've done. I've been doing this one a day. This is a new fantasy cooperative board game which is coming to Kickstarter early next year. It's going to be a big epic game with character development, a huge campaign world, lots of scenarios, interlinked storylines, all of that kind of thing. And the game is going to come with 3 tutorials that will help you get started with the game. And today we're going to be playing through tutorial 1, which will take about an hour. And it will teach you the basics and the core mechanisms of the game. So let me jump over to Discord and say hello to Mandy Hutchinson. Hello, Mandy.
Hello. How are you? How is everyone?
Doing okay. Now, it's the Sunday of Spiel. By this point, both of us are normally exhausted from not having slept for 4 days.
Oh, I'm still there.
I was going to say, there's no difference. It's exactly the same. It's just we're in the comfort of our own home. So yeah, thanks. Have you been up to much at Spiel then?
Well, I've been doing a lot with a few things for Haba, and that's probably where I've spent most of my time. And then I'm doing this here with you. But as everyone knows, I have a full-time job, so that's also been taking up my time. So yeah. No, I saw a couple of the Haba streams, so yeah, good job on those. Right, we are also joined today by 3 gentlemen from Polyhedron Collider, Steve, Andy, and Sid.
Hello.
There you go. You're all wondering who was going to speak first.
For once, we've all been polite as well.
Yes, this is a family show. Please, no swearing.
Yes.
So,
yes.
now, Mandy, you've not met any of the guys from Polyhedron Collider before, is that right?
No, but I heard someone Scottish. I'm part Scottish. Last name's Hutchinson. Who's Scottish?
That's me, so I'm not allowed to use my punctuation. Steve's already given me strict orders.
That's very funny.
So,
well, nice to meet all of you, actually.
Now, Sid, we've not met before. I've known Steve and Andy for a few years. Sid, you do the role-playing games as well, don't you?
Yes, yeah, that's my focus in PHC, really.
Right. Because I know that you guys are playing D&D over the internet while during lockdown.
We are indeed.
Yes.
Yeah, we've been playing Crystal Shard, Frost Giant 1. We've been playing the Dragon Rise by Peak. A few years ago, I ran Tyranny of Dragons campaign as well. So we're just starting the Odyssey of the Dragon Lords, which is one of the alternative setting campaigns as well. So
cool.
Quite a few. It's all good.
Yeah. And one of the reasons why I thought you'd be interested in this is because there are a lot of games in the fantasy cooperative, campaign style genre. But as soon as I got involved in working on this game, I felt that this one was the closest one to a role-playing game that I've seen so far. And yeah, we're going to be playing through tutorial 1 today. So let us have a look at what we've got. Have you all chosen a character first?
Yes.
Good. Right, that's a good start. Now, the characters, they are asymmetric. They're not all exactly the same, although in tutorial 1, there aren't much differences between them. What's going to happen in tutorial 2 and tutorial 3 is these characters are going to gain some extra skills and equipment, and they will become more asymmetric before the end of the tutorials. But for this one, they're a little bit similar. So it's up to 4 players, and the game is going to come with a book, and that's going to basically teach you everything you need to know for this particular scenario. So instead of it being a massive rule book where you have to learn everything right at the start, it's just what you need for this scenario. And then once you finish this one, you go into tutorial 2, where it will include some more rules, and it'll basically teach you as you play. So the object of this is to give you an idea of how the game plays, some of the core mechanisms, and then we'll jump in. I'm going to be teaching you the rules as we go, so there isn't much you need to know before we start. I will read the thematic introduction. Right. The city of Ambergate stands on dozens of small islands, connected by canals and bridges. One such island holds the Shimmering Squid Inn, where you are staying. One evening, you are standing on the balcony overlooking the magnificent gate from which the city gets its name. a doorway into nowhere. A few weeks ago, the runes decorating the gate lit up with an eerie blue radiance. People have come from far and wide to witness this phenomenon, just as you admire it from your balcony. Just then, the gate starts to crackle with azure energy, and water starts to pour in through it. The canals overflow, and the islands closest to the gate are completely submerged. Cries of panic and the ringing of bells fills the air. You rush downstairs into the common room where water is already knee-deep. The innkeeper, the barmaid, and the customers all look desperately in need of help as the water pours in through the door and the windows. To help them, you will need to act quickly. So if you can place your heroes on the stairs in the bottom left corner of the map. And we have a timer for this scenario, which for 4 players is 4 rounds. So you see this deck of fate cards here. What's going to happen at the end of each round, one of those fate cards is going to be discarded. And when all of the fate cards have been discarded, the scenario is over. Now, you do not fail when the scenario is over. All it means is that the waters have risen to such a level that you basically need to swim to safety yourself. So you've got 4 rounds to try and do as much as you can. Okay. Each round is divided into 3 phases. The first phase is that each hero will select an action. Now, if you look at your character sheet, now this is prototype artwork here. On the left-hand side of your character sheet, there will be 4 actions eventually. For this tutorial, we only have 2 actions, which is extra maneuver and enhance ability. And what you do is you will talk between yourselves about what you're going to do for this round, and then you will select the action by moving the little disc onto the little space. And it recommends for the first round that you all choose extra maneuver. So if you just pop the disc on extra maneuver, round 2 you can choose.
Okay.
Right. Okay. The next phase is hero turns. So each of you is going to take a turn, and that is done in initiative order. For tutorial 1, the initiative is printed on the board here. So we have red, then blue, then green. So if you can each have a look at the colour of the action that you've chosen. Has anybody's got red?
I've got red on mine.
Yep. So red over here. So Venia is red. Nobody else is red, I don't think.
No.
Nope. 2 of you is blue. So, yeah, Andy and Steve, you're blue.
Yep.
And then Mandy, you're green.
Yes.
Okay, so what's going to happen is red's going to go first. So we're going to do your turn first, Sid. Right. On your turn, you get to perform 1 action and 1 maneuver. You can do them in any order. The action, you've already decided what that is. But the maneuver, you can choose what the maneuver is at the moment you're about to do it. Okay? Now, because you've chosen extra maneuver as your action, that essentially means you get to do 2 maneuvers. Okay? The maneuvers are all down the bottom right of your character sheet. They are slightly different based on your character. The top one is always walk. The next one is run. The third one is meditate, and we don't need to worry about the bottom one.
Okay.
The action, the maneuvers are all the same for every character, but the values will be slightly different. So the only ones we're interested in right now are the top 2, which is either walk or run, and I'd like you to select which one of those you want to do.
Okay. I'll start with the walking. Let's keep it simple.
Okay, so you've got 2 movement points, and you now move your figure on the board, and the areas are divided by white lines. So red lines are impassable, white lines define the areas, and if you can now move up to 2 spaces.
Take 1 step to there.
Okay, so at that point, I'm going to interrupt you. Because you have landed on a story point. Now, these story points are what makes this game very narrative driven, because things will happen as you actually move around and do things. So the story points consist of 2 pieces of information. There is the letter, which indicates the letter of the card in the deck. So I'm going to get the card out of the deck. And the number is the range at which you will draw that card. So story card H, you will only draw the card when you are in that space. Okay? If we take a look here, for example, we have D1. So you're going to draw that story card if you were to go here, because it's 1 away from D. Okay? So I'm going to take the story card now. So story card H. Here we go. Right, the Shimmering Squid. In the common room, the innkeeper is directing customers upstairs. The stout Corallian heartily welcomes you yestereve, but is now clearly fighting off panic. Okay, so there's a bit of narrative. What's printed at the bottom of the card is how you can interact with that card. And you can see that the 0 means that you have to be on the same space as the innkeeper in order to flip the card over. So, would you like to do that?
Yes, I will offer some aid to this man. He
Okay,
looks
so
like
you
he's
flip
got
it
a bit
over.
of bother on his hands.
Okay, are you certain you can face the current? As Bakura is my witness, I want no harm to come to you. He looks you up and down, appraising you from head to toe. In fact, perhaps you could help with the bridge. I'm going to add the word outside, because some people didn't realise the bridge was outside. So, perhaps you could help with the bridge outside. I fear it will collapse, and then the escape route will be cut off for many townsfolk. Work hard, and may the Creator's success flow down on us all. There are others also in need of your help, such as the silk merchant and the barmaid. And who knows who else is still inside the rooms. Just then, a gush of waves sends more water and debris in through the open door. You must hurry. Okay, now that interrupted your move, so you still have 1 movement point left from your walking. Where would you like to go next?
I am going to carry on out, follow his instructions, basically, try and head towards the bridge.
So that's your first manoeuvre done. You now choose another manoeuvre.
I'll carry on walking, I think.
Okay.
So I'll go out this
Now,
door.
as soon as you go here,
Yep.
this is story point L with a number 2. Yeah, and because you are now within range 2, we get to reveal story card L.
It's all going on here, isn't it?
This one.
Bit frantic, isn't it?
Okay, blocked street. The street outside the inn has been blocked by a broken gondola, carried by the flood. An escaping Patangan family with many 4-armed children is stuck on the other side. The strong current keeps the gondola in place. The Patangan mother looks at you with desperation in her reptilian eyes. So, in order to lift the gondola, you have to be in the same space as the gondola. And then you will perform a might check, difficulty 4, and if you succeed, you flip the card over. So before you decide which way you want to go, I will very quickly look at your character. You have might of 2, agility of 3, and a will of 2. That is the number of dice that you will roll when you're doing those checks. So if you've got a might of 2 and the difficulty is 4, you might succeed. But so another character might be more suited to doing this skill check.
Andy.
Mandy.
Yeah, I don't think that's quite my wheelhouse, so I'll leave that to somebody that's had their porridge this morning.
Yeah.
And I'll carry on to the bridge. Is that the bridge?
That is the bridge. You have 1 movement point left.
I'll move to there then.
And you get your 3rd story card. Green elf gets all the food. Right. This is the bridge over troubled water. The flowing waters and the floating debris have damaged the bridge, and it is in danger of collapsing into the canal. To clear the bridge would require strength, and to remove the debris from the supporting beams takes dexterity. To direct the fleeing citizens to help would demand leadership. Fortunately, you are in a position to help. So because you are on this space, we can flip the card over. Right, now this card actually gives you an option of doing either a might check, an agility check, or a will check. And the most important rule about these checks is that it doesn't take you an action or a maneuver to do them unless it says otherwise. They are effectively something that you can just do for free on your turn if you are on that space.
Okay. In which case, I will use my dex on it and try and clear out some of the debris.
Okay, so we have a look at your agility. Your agility is 3, so you get to roll 3 dice.
Okay.
Oh, you're doing it that way. All right.
Oh, there we go.
So this is
that
2
was the way you could do
successes. So this is 2 successes. This is 1 success. This is no successes, but you can spend 1 vitae to get 1 success, or you could spend 2 to get 2 successes.
So I just need the 1, right?
You just need the 1. If you just move 1 chip from the top of your stack.
Oh, not all of it.
Not all of them. Drag and move quickly. That's it.
There we go.
Okay, that's 4 successes. So we put an X counter on there. And that's it. That is your turn done.
Okay.
Good
Okay,
job.
we don't know what the X has done, but we'll find out later. Okay, now we go to Initiative Blue. Both characters are on Initiative Blue, which means you can actually choose the order in which you want to take your turns. If you can't agree, but when would that ever happen? You go off the individual character's taunt value. But that's only if you can't agree. So, who wants to take the next turn?
What are you good at, Andy?
I am good at will and
Right.
reasonable dex. I have 1 might, so anything involving a strength check is probably not my bag, baby.
No, I seem to be an all-rounder, so I've got two strength, 2 dex, and 3 will. So I am no good at the old strength check either. So I'm going to ignore that gondola as well.
Strength's better than mine. Wow, your character's got better abilities than me. That's just clearly not fair.
That's what happens when you're late, Andy.
I was not late. I was precisely on schedule. Go on, Steve.
Go on, and I will. I think I'm going to go further into the bar. Yeah, I'm going to get that one there. So I'm going to do a standard move. I'm yellow, aren't I?
You're doing a walk first.
Walk first to there. Walk to there.
Well, you can actually.
Oh,
go straight across there.
Can I? Yes. All right, that's one move then.
Okay, right. So we're going to get card D. Is this one?
Which, knowing my luck, will be the imminent death card.
This is a mysterious stranger. A distraught, one-eyed Ignisaur is rushing to her room where a strange-looking device awaits. You have seen her in the inn and have overheard her introducing herself as a silk merchant. Ignisaurs are not a common sight in Ambergate, and silk merchants have no use for such devices. So if you want to approach her, you have to be in the same space as her, and then you can flip this card over.
My curiosity is piqued, so yeah, let's move to there.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Venerate the sun, she says in relief, and addresses you by your name. It's you, Steve. Please help me. I left some valuable manuscripts in Birdie in yonder stable. Would you save them for me before they get wet? You have seen her in the inn, but have never spoken to her before. How does she recognise you? Please, there is no time for that. I have the means for escape, but you must assist me.
So where? Stables are across the river, aren't they?
So you're running for that then, because I've got a barmaid.
So that was your first manoeuvre. What would you like to do as your second manoeuvre?
1, 2. I could get within here. How do you do a ping? So I can get to the B thing on there, so we can at least reveal that one, Andy. If that's of help to you.
Possibly, I was thinking because if I do a run, I can go 1, 2, 3, get to here, which will trigger this event, and then I could get to behind the bar 1, 2.
Why don't I get to there, and that'll trigger B and C, and we can at least see what they are then.
Will it trigger C?
It should trigger C.
It will.
Yeah.
The range of the story points does go over the red lines.
All right, okay, yeah, then do that. Yeah.
So let's go there and trigger both of them, and then.
Okay. So you've taken a walk maneuver again. Okay,
yes.
So first of all, I'm going to reveal C, which is this one. So this is Stella's Grick needs saving. The innkeeper's stepdaughter, Stella, has a pet Grick called Fungus. Fungus is caught in the cellar and in danger of drowning. To help her, you either have to grab the Grick or convince it to jump into your lap. So if you were on this space, you could do either of those checks. And if you succeed, you flip that card over.
Okay.
Okay, and B is a dangling chandelier. You cannot jump over the high bar, but above it hangs a chandelier. The light of the candles glimmers in the flowing water. An athlete might be able to jump up from the water, grab the chandelier, and swing their way forward. And we can flip this card over because you are within one of B.
Okay.
Here we go. Here is your option. So you can't do this turn, but on a future turn, you can spend a movement point, do an agility check of 3, and if you succeed, you basically move to another side of the bar.
Okay.
I say you can't do it this turn because you've actually spent all of your movement points, but if you had have run,
yes,
you could have now done this.
Right. Got you.
Okay.
Can I do it, or is it limited to Steve's character?
Anybody can do it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Right, Andy, you're up.
Right then, I think I will do what I said I was going to do, and I'm going to run to...
Okay, so running for you costs you 2 vitae.
It does, yes. So, 1, 2.
Yep, so you get to move 3.
2, and I'm going to go to here and trigger this story event here.
That's 1, 2, 3, I'm afraid.
Oh, is it? Oh, there's a line there, sorry.
There's a line, yeah.
Sorry, damn.
All right.
Oh, in that case, 1, 2. I might as well try and do the Grick then, because I can get there with another run. Although that'll use me Vitae up. Does the Vitae recharge, Paul?
Only if you choose the meditate maneuver, which is the third one down.
Right. Okay. So let's say no then. I'll trigger the bedroom one anyway. I'm just going to do a normal move.
Normal walk. Okay, so you move there, and we get story card A.
It's like millions of side quests now.
So, story card A. You see a priest of the fifth eye carrying a heavy chest marked with exquisite signs. The chest seems too heavy for the elderly Nittigri man, but he is desperately trying to keep it above water. He refuses help, saying he has vowed before the fifth eye to take care of it alone. You have to be on his space if you want to help him.
I might as well, because I've got my movement point, and my will is pretty strong, so it sounds like a test. I might actually get some.
Yeah, you're quite good at the old will, so if you roll 3 dice, see what you get.
Yeah, I'll get that one out of the road. Oh, that one didn't land properly.
I think roll that one again. There we go. So that's 4 successes, plus if you spend 1 vitae, you'll get a 5th success.
Let's do that.
There you go. So we flip this card over. You convince the priest that the fifth eye will not be pleased if the chest and its contents get wet. He sighs in relief as you take the heavy object from his hands. The chest emits a high-pitched hum, which seems oddly out of place compared to the heavy low sloshing of the water. So you've got this. Okay, you're currently carrying it around with you. While you've got this card, you cannot use the bar acrobatics, because it says on there, can't do it if you're carrying something. But what you're going to have to do is, before the end of the scenario, you're going to have to drop this off at any location which has the chest icon, which is like a rescue. It's a salvage point.
So I'll dump it on the stairs then, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and you have 1 movement left, I believe.
I do indeed. So
there you go. Right, last but not least, Mandy.
Okay, so funny enough, I play a lot of video games that are RPGs, and I usually meander through and do all the side quests, but I think I should probably take some action here and not waste people's time. So, how do I, this one here, Paul?
Yeah, so this has got, if you look in the bottom left, there is a 0. That means in order to do this, you have to be on this space.
Okay.
Now, your character is very slow at moving.
Yes, very slow.
Yeah.
So there you go. I was right about the meandering then.
Yeah, definitely. So if you walk, you'll only move 1, but if you run, you get to move 2.
But I do have to spend.
Yeah, but you've got lots of vitae.
Yeah, so you know what? Let's do that then. I think I'm going to run twice, I guess, to get there. Do I have to be on it or beside it?
You have to be on it. So I don't think you'll get there this turn, but you will get there next turn.
Okay, so that's fine. I think I'll do that. So I'll spin the 2, and then and then so it's gonna go here, and then so here. Yeah. Okay.
There we go. So that's the end of the round. So we flip over one of these. Now these numbers don't mean anything in this scenario, but in future scenarios they will mean something. Right, now we go to round 2. At this point you can all select your actions. The other action that we didn't explain is enhance ability, and what that means is that all of your abilities are 1 higher for the whole round. So some of you might want to do that. Some of you might want to choose the extra maneuver. I will leave it up to you.
I don't know. Let's see, because where I'm going, I have pretty good strength.
I reckon I'm going to carry on running towards the stable, so I'll probably stick with extra maneuver for this go.
Yeah, I think I'll do the same, because I need to get this chest somewhere sensible.
In which case, I will go for the enhanced ability, because I will probably do the dive over the bar. And try and save the barmaid's cat or whatever a grick is.
Yeah, because it would actually apply to both all skill checks that you do this round. Yeah.
Right, got you.
Okay, I'm kind of in a weird spot because I'm going to be going for this side quest, and I have decent amount of strength, but maybe then it can move me out somewhere afterward. So, okay, I'm just going to stick with extra maneuver, I think, for this one.
Has everybody chosen their actions?
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Anybody on red?
Yep, I'm still on red.
Good. Okay, off you go then. You get to do your turn.
So, do I do the bridge again, or is that done?
You can do the bridge again. Remember, it's a free thing you can do. So.
Oh, yep. Okay. In which case, I will do that. Find my dice. So it's rolling 3 dice. I'll do it the easy way this time.
Right now, this is 4 successes.
Oh, Paul, wait! Don't. I just realized I was zoomed out. I need 4 successes, and I only roll 3 dice.
That's fine.
So, sorry.
But if you want to change it, that's fine.
Yes, my apologies. I'm so sorry. I was zoomed out. Sorry to interrupt.
That's okay.
Continue.
That's okay. So you've got 4 successes, Sid, which is all you need. But I will explain what this dice is. This is 1 success plus you roll an extra dice.
Okay.
Okay, so it's an exploding dice. Now you don't need to because you've already got enough successes. So we're going to add another X onto here.
Nice.
Okay.
Yep. And then I will move. So that's
walking or running.
Walking.
Okay.
I'll move to there. Is this the way in here, or what's up
well, there's a red line,
and those
which means
we can
you
cross
can't
those.
Cross a red line, but who knows? Who knows?
Well, there's a story point thingy there, so
there is a story point.
Oh,
I'll
yeah,
head to that.
So I think it's here.
It activates there. Does it? Okay.
There.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're within 1 of E, so we're going to reveal E. Okay, and I'll put it here. Right, maintenance hatch. There is a low entrance to the stable meant for delivering hay. Like everything else, it is overflowing with water and debris. If you were on the same space as this, you could flip the card over.
Ooh, that sounds exciting. I want to carry on towards that.
Okay. So again, you need to declare if you're walking or running before you...
Yeah, absolutely walking. Yeah,
walking again?
Sorry.
Right, okay. So we flip this over. Right. The overflowing maintenance hatch is meant for objects, but a careful person might be able to use it to wriggle through. So if you want to spend a movement point, you do an agility check of difficulty 2, and if you succeed, you get to move to here. You have 1 movement point left.
Yeah, definitely.
And you're good at the old agility, so...
good. There's a good chance here.
Well, you say that, Andy.
Yeah. It's all fine.
Yep, you got it. So you move to
away
here.
with it. Awesome.
Okay, which means we get to reveal story card F. Put here. So this is the flooded stable. You enter the watery stable full of wet hay and animal screams. In the back, you see what is clearly the Ignisaur's birdie, a wagon with mechanical wings. And you can flip this card over. Looking around, you realise this place has not always been a stable. It was once a temple of a pagan goddess before Brenham became a secular republic. For generations, it has been used for keeping animals, but now there is only 1 togrel in the far pen. The flood is making it panic. Okay, and I think you're done.
Yes, I am. Yeah, that's
right.
my turn over.
Who's on initiative blue?
I am.
Oh.
Yeah, and also Andy.
Oh, it's for me. Okay, so I need to. Oh yes, we're working on this one. So do I need? You said I need to be on the space for this one, right?
You need to be on the space because of this here.
Right. So I would be walking. For
so your first action is to walk. Yep.
Yep. And then going to roll.
Yep. So you get to roll 4 dice.
Yes.
Because you've chosen the enhanced ability.
And how do you roll? Is it just R or do I?
R, yeah. So select them all.
Yep.
Dragon.
I did
and
that.
then R. R to roll.
Perfect. Come on.
So you got 5 successes, and you can buy up to 2 more.
And I can win. Sorry.
You could buy up to 2 more successes with this by spending Vitae, but you don't need to because you've succeeded.
No, I don't need to in this case. Yeah.
Nope. Absolutely right. So we get to flip this card over.
Nice.
Straining your muscles to the extreme, you manage to move the gondola aside. The relieved families can escape the flood. May the stars shine upon you, many of them say in the Nitigree fashion. The Patangan children deftly climb over the remaining debris, while their mother turns to you, forming a complex symbol with her 4 claws. I thank the spirits, and I thank you. Place this card in the salvage pile, and we reveal another story card.
Okay, well, you're welcome.
So we're going to reveal... Where is it? This one. Okay, so, a little boat. While moving the gondola, you notice a small boat stuck behind it. It bobs precariously on the waves, but does not turn over. A small push might allow you to place it, to move it to a place where it could hold your salvage. So this is a new thing we've not seen before. All of the ability checks that we've seen so far have been free things that you can do. This one, if you want to move the boat, it requires a maneuver. So that will be next turn.
Next turn, okay.
Yeah, I think you're done. Right, Andy.
Yep.
Right, well, I've got this damn great box, so I might as well carry it to the stairs.
Yep.
So I'm doing 2 maneuvers. So I will a standard maneuver moves me 2 spaces, which
Walk
takes
to
me
there.
And then another 2 spaces gets me to the stairs.
Yep. So the chest goes on the salvage pile, and that's you done.
It is.
Right, Steve.
We can get for that.
Okay, I am going to attempt to do this bar acrobatics to get across the
So
bar.
are you declaring a walk or a run first?
I'm going to declare a walk because all I want to do is get the other side of the bar at this point. So
You've got 2 movement
let's
points.
do that.
You spend the first one. Do the bar acrobatics. So you've got an agility of 2, but +1 because of you've enhanced it.
Yep. So I just roll 3 dice, do I?
Roll the 3 dice.
Ooh.
We've got another cocked dice. That's never happened before.
Oh, even better.
There we go. Even better.
4 successes. So you can move to anywhere else adjacent to B.
So yeah, I want to move to where the C is, so I can do the C
And
card.
now you can do this. Do you want to do agility or will?
Will, because I think I've got a higher will. Yes, I have. So I've got a will of.
So you're going to shout down into the cellar and try and convince this Grick to come up.
Yes. I'd say here, kitty, kitty, but it seems that my character is in fact a cat, so that's probably inappropriate. And
okay, well, there's 5.
Five. Job's on
you don't need to buy
fire.
anymore. Okay, I'm waiting until somebody says, "Oh." Nobody said it. Oh. You take Fungus the Grick in your arms and pet it gently. It is wet and miserable, but safe. And I like this next bit. Meanwhile, Stella has run to the stairs.
Nice.
He waves at you and yells, "Oh, thank you. May the stars shine upon you, kind saviour." So, you've got Fungus the Grick, which means we put this card here, which means you can't now do the bar acrobatics.
Ah, bugger. Okay.
But you do have 1 movement point left, I believe.
Yes, I do. Maybe I should have ran. Never mind. I've got to go around the bar now then. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay. And I think that's everybody. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Right. Round 2 done. Round 3, choose your actions. Remember, there are only 4 rounds in this scenario.
Right, and this
we get a shift on them, don't we?
The water levels are rising quickly.
So, Paul.
Yep.
Now, for the card, I'm thinking I probably should do an extra maneuver for
I
this
think so,
if I'm
yeah.
trying to do that.
Because otherwise, because this doesn't require a check, it's just a maneuver to do.
Okay, so we'll just do that. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So we've done most of the cards in the main bar now, haven't we? So it's literally just a case of bundle, get out, and help the stables and sort this bridge. Okay, in that case, I shall get a wriggle on and stick 2 maneuvers and just bundle out.
Okay.
I'm gonna head for the carriage, I think, this time, so I'm enhancing ability. I reckon.
So
Anybody
this
on
is
red?
really different than your normal RPG. You kind of want to stick together, right? To fend off the evil. So so this is different.
This scenario is the next one is different.
I understand.
This scenario is very much there's lots of people need help. We need to split up and help them. You've probably realised by now there's no monsters in this scenario, so there's no combat, so it's safe to do so.
I'm like, we're not dead yet, so this is what's going on.
Right, anybody on red? Nobody's on red. How many people are on blue? 2 of you.
2.
I am.
Yeah,
I am.
Okay, take your pick. Who wants to go first?
Go on, Andy, you go first.
Yeah, all I'm doing is running, so this won't take long.
Yeah.
Well, I say running. I'm using both maneuvers to get outside by the bridge. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. There we go. That was easy.
Are you done?
I think.
Oh, wait.
Oh, do you want to do the bridge thing?
Oh yeah. I thought the bridge was finished. I'll do the bridge thing, and I'll use my will, which is.
Okay, so you're going to direct some people. Yeah.
Yes. So I'll roll 3 dice.
Project manage the situation.
Okay. So you've got 2 successes. You could buy up to 2 more successes if you were to spend your vitae.
I think I'm going to need to, aren't I? Otherwise, this lot are going to drown. So I'll be a nice person, unlike the rest of my RPG characters.
There we go. We've put another X on it. So you're now done. So, Steve?
Yep.
Right, I'm going to sprint. So it is 2 vitae to sprint, is it?
2 vitae for you. Yeah.
Since I've not used any yet, so let's do a bit of that. So I can go 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And then I will sprint again, which costs me 2.
Yep.
Let's burn through these and go 1, 2. Drop off the
drop off Fungus the Grick.
Quite frankly, terrifying cat bee creature, and then move to there. That's my 3rd movement.
Okay, excellent. Right. So now we're on green, and I believe it is the last 2 characters on green. So who wants to go first?
Go for it, Mandy. Let's see what happens with this.
Okay, yeah, and Paul, you might have to guide me through this because I don't know if I fully understand what I need
This
to
is
do
really
here.
simple. It is. I mean, the physical game won't be like this. The physical game will say, do a maneuver, and then it will have some text. Thankfully, because of Tabletop Simulator, we're allowed to do some clever little scripting. If you want to click on that overlay button there.
Oh, that's really good. I like that.
So you've moved the boat. It's now here, and you now have another salvage point.
Oh,
neat.
Ooh, that's handy.
That's pretty cool.
There you go. So that's one maneuver, and then you have another maneuver.
Well, I probably should just scooch my buttons somewhere where I can be of assistance. So what's the closest?
I think
scooch my buttons. That's the technical term.
I should be using that phrase at all times in future. That's brilliant.
Oh, goodness gravy. Okay, so let's see. What's the next closest one that I can help with out here? You're working on... No, this is done. I'm trying to... Do I have to go back inside? This is outside, right? Who's doing this? Is anybody working on this?
Yeah, this is here.
Okay, so maybe I'll make my way over to that general direction so I could run, which will cost me one of these.
One, and move you to here.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Very much. There we go.
Sid, inside the stables on his own. What's he going to do?
On my own, I'm lonering it. I do love rogue characters. It's where I end up naturally. Right, so I'll cheese it towards. I'm walking, and I'll head towards the carriage or whatever it is.
Okay, so this is G. This is Birdie. You wallow through the knee-deep water to reach Birdie. The wagon has wings of wood and fabric and a complex mechanism for powering and operating. Inside rests plenty of cargo, but you do not see any scrolls lying about. Now, unfortunately for you, searching the wagon is going to require a maneuver, and you don't have a maneuver free.
Nope.
So I think your turn is done.
It is, yeah.
And that is the end of the round. Okay, last round. Choose
your
so
actions.
Quick.
Wow.
Do we not trigger M, Paul? Because now he's a space away.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Yes, thank you. I forgot that. Let's have a look at M. Right, M is the door. The door to the stables is locked and will not open. At least it is slightly slowing the ingress of floodwater. If you are on one of the M spaces, you can flip this card over to look closer at the door. Right. Okay, last round then.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh. I'm tempted to cheese it and open the door for you, Sid.
I think we're gonna have to. I presume we have to get any loot back to the salvage areas for it to count. So I'm not going to be able to get back. So I think that's what we're going to have to think about.
Yeah. And to flip M, I need to just be there, don't I? So okay.
So 1, 2, 3 spaces away. So you have to sprint, and then I think you have to do 2 maneuvers, don't you, just in case.
I think you're right. Yeah. So I'll do extra maneuver and open the door for you.
So I'm doing extra maneuver as well because I'll need one maneuver to actually do something in this wagon, and then I presume another one to move to you.
Yeah.
Do we have to get back to the boat at the end?
Nope.
Okay.
You don't have to. Just picking up on one thing Mandy said a minute ago. You mentioned that the bridge is done.
Mm-hmm.
So the bridge has had 3 X markers placed on it, but you haven't been told how many X markers you need to place on it.
Oh, right. Okay. So I could go to the bridge and I could 1, 2, 3, and I could wire in on that then, couldn't I?
Yep.
In which case I will do the enhanceability action.
Okay, move from here to...
I tell you, there's no limit to the amount of people that can be in one space then, Paul.
There is.
Oh,
so,
there is.
Yeah, this is the little dots that you see on each of the spaces.
Okay.
So at the end of your movement, you cannot have more than that number of characters on each of those spaces.
Right.
But you can move through them, you just can't. It's not really relevant in this scenario because you're splitting up. But certainly in tutorial scenario 2, where there's enemies and there's combat, that's when those little dots are really important.
So is there any point to me coming up here to do this one? I mean, you all seem to... What do you think?
Yeah. With your movement, I think you're probably best choosing enhance ability.
Yes, and that's exactly what I was going to do because I need the extra dice. Right, exactly. So perfect. We're on the same page. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Anybody on red?
Yep, I've got red.
Okay. Off you go then.
So I will use one of my maneuvers to flip the G card.
Here we go. You go through flasks and blankets, well-used musical instruments, candles, spare clothes, totems and other objects, some common and others strange, until you come across a sack containing scrolls. While the sack may keep the rain out, it will not protect them from the flood. This is your sack of scrolls.
Okay. Oh no, how do I get it here?
You can just do it. If you move into the M, you can.
Hopefully you can. Yeah, flip the card, see it when it needs to open it.
I'll have to do that once. I'll have to do that. So if I move to, I'll just walk.
Oh, hang on. What's your sprint move, Sid?
My sprint is 3.
Do it.
It cost me 1.
Pretty good.
You get to there. I can run to here, grab the thing off you, and then take it to the boat, and we can win.
All right. Okay. Well, in which case, I'm trying to move.
At least I
again.
assume that's the case. You can swap. Are we allowed to swap? Give it to pass it over?
Yeah, if people are on the same space.
Rock and roll.
All right. So I'll use a sprint action.
So your first movement point takes you to there. We flip this over.
Assume we can open the door.
Right. There is a hole high in the door. Old pagan temples used to have hatches like that for making small sacrifices to the goddesses. Nowadays, the hole is probably meant for the barmaid's grick to go inside and keep vermin out. Unfortunately, the door is locked, but characters can give story cards from one side of the door to the other.
Okay. So I think I lose my other 2 bits of movement then, presumably now.
Yep.
And I gotta wait for pickup from you, Andy.
Yep.
You do, yeah.
Right. Mandy, do you want to go next and try and get another counter on the bridge?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. So I need to be. Do I need to be on the space? You say?
You just need to be on this space here. Yeah.
Okay. So for the first one, I'm gonna have to walk it over then.
Yeah,
Yep.
walk to here.
Thank you. And what am I rolling here? Oh, good gravy.
I'd say.
Yeah, I think so. So yeah.
Before dice.
The best
Yep.
one. Yeah, because I got lots of dice. All right, let's do a little. No. Oh, don't be silly. There we go. And there we go.
Okay,
Wow.
So right. Well, you've got 2 successes there. That's 1 success.
Okay.
Plus another dice. You get to roll this one.
Oh, I get to roll this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's another success. So there's 4.
Thank goodness.
You don't need to spend any vitae. So there we go. We get a 4th X on there. Nice.
Very happy.
So you're done.
Okay.
Right.
Who's next?
It's me, I think.
Andy next.
I'm blue, yeah. Well, I'm going to spend 2 vitae to sprint to pick up Sid's thing.
Yeah. So he can transfer the scrolls to you.
Yeah. And then now I only have one small token.
You've
and
only
a big
1 token left. You're going to have to walk.
Oh, that means I can't actually get it to the boat. That's a problem. Plan's falling apart here, boys.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
So close.
Get to there.
Yeah.
Can we give
I've
each
got
other
the
tokens?
scrolls.
What does this last token at the bottom port mean?
So in the physical game, this will actually be a counter which slots into your board. Yeah, I might get them to change the TTS mod because it is a little misleading.
Right, okay.
I don't know why that's there because there is 8 there, isn't there?
There are, yeah.
Mhm.
So I've spent them all. Sadly.
Is there 8?
No.
1, 2, 3. Hang on, let's count. Oh yeah, I missed this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah,
No, there's only 7. 7.
Yeah.
Can Steve make it to you?
No, I can't because I can only go 1, 2, 3, which means I've got to sprint just to get to J.
Yeah, but that's okay. If you sprint to J.
Oh,
and then...
you chose enhanced ability.
Yes, I chose enhanced ability.
Yeah.
Because I was going to do the bridge thing to help people.
That was foolish, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. With lack of foresight on my part.
Right. So I think we're done.
Right. Did we make a mistake though? Should Sid have known that there was a hole in the gate when he actually went to the cart?
It's very difficult to do everything in this scenario.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Right. Should I do my last turn then?
Do your last turn. Go for a wander.
Yeah. So I'm spending 2 of them.
Yeah.
To sprint. So 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
I've got enhanced maneuver, so I'm going to do the helping out, which means I've got.
You could,
4...
but there is a rule on this card that says only 1 X marker can be placed here each round.
Oh, right. Okay.
So-
In which case, then I shall stick to nothing.
Can we retcon it? Can we retcon it and say Steve did a double maneuver? Just saying.
Exactly.
Knowing that Mandy was going to do what she
Well,
did.
Mandy might not have succeeded.
Oh, that's true.
That is true,
yeah.
actually. And it was looking that way, actually, when I did it.
As I said, complete lack of foresight on my part there.
And it is your first game, and it's a learning game. Right,
That's
so
true. It's true.
conclusions. The floodwaters get so high that retreating to the upper floor of the Shimmering Squid is the only option left to you. Eventually, even that is flooded, so you're forced to climb onto the roof. You see people trying to swim to safety or using doors and tables as makeshift rafts. You spend your time helping others, but the truth is you are also in need of help. So, for each story card added to the salvage pile, and only the ones in the salvage pile, so not this. Okay?
Right,
Now,
rub it
first
in,
one.
Paul, why don't you?
Fungus the Grick. You saved Fungus. So, the barmaid Stella is petting her Grick, both clearly bringing comfort to each other. She has precious little on her, but as a token of her gratitude, she gives you a rare herb, which is this. So the Star Lotus herb. Any character can take this, and that will be carried forward for future adventures. Feel free to assign that to a character of your choice.
Any idea what it does?
We'll find out in tutorial 2 or 3.
Okay.
Or maybe later. Story card A was the chest of the fifth eye. You help the old priest lift the heavy chest onto the roof. He tells you that the cult of the fifth eye collects ancient artifacts, and the chest holds one of their most valuable discoveries. May the fifth eye watch over you, he says. The priest introduces himself as Arias Karain and writes a letter of recommendation to be used in Runedale. So again, another character gets this letter, which will be useful in future scenarios.
Hooray.
Scrolls you didn't get. Toggle Whisper you didn't get. Story card L you did get. In a nearby overcrowded sailboat, you'd recognise the Patangan family you helped by clearing the road. The boat sails close enough to the inn's roof for the mother to talk to you. I will sacrifice in front of the totem, she says, and makes the claw symbol again. If only there were room, I would rescue you myself, but perhaps the spirits will bring you good fortune. With that, he hands something to you over the railing. So one character gets the wooden amulet, which again will be useful in future scenarios. I think that should go to you, Mandy, since it was you that did the boat thing.
Yay!
And then the next page is, as long as you have any X markers on story card J.
Oh, man.
As a Corallian, the innkeeper is not too worried about the water, but is very protective of his Nitigri stepdaughter Stella. Most Corallians are born in the underwater cities of the Thelocracy of Zebul and believe in working hard in pursuit of their dreams. To see one of them being a parent to a Nitigri child is very unusual. The innkeeper thanks you for keeping everyone safe and the bridge standing. As a sign of his gratitude, he gives you some coins. The creator's success flows down on you, he says in the Corallian way. So you get 1 gold for each X marker on the bridge, which again you can split up and divide however you want between the characters. I.e. Sid can steal it all and say that he hasn't got anything.
I'm playing a different card today. I'm not playing the usual one.
And then the conclusion. You see ships, boats, gondolas, rafts, flying rickshaws and airships escaping from the epicenter of the disaster. The Gate of Amber, which is still pouring out the contents of some otherworldly ocean. But there is no help for you. Not until a wagon with flapping wings approaches the roof of the inn. It is the one-eyed Ignisaur who recognised you earlier with her togrel aboard. I thought you could use a ride, she yells and throws you a rope ladder. You let the innkeeper, Stella and the priest climb in first and then follow them. The wings are operated with an ancient device which uses a rare Agura crystal for fuel. The Ignisaur lets the others off at a nearby hillside and then continues onwards with you. My name is Shantor Threebirds, and I would have you join me in my journey to Runedale. You have much to discuss as you fly north away from the flooded city, its bells still sounding the alarm behind you. And that's the end of tutorial 1.
Sweet.
There you go. So what you've learned here is you've learned the core mechanisms of the game. You've learned how you choose an action, and then on your turn you will do an action and a maneuver. You've seen how ability checks work and how the dice mechanic works. Now, one of the things, I don't know if you noticed this, on the dice, there are no failures.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It's a deliberate design decision that there are no blanks on the dice. So every dice, as long as you have Vitae available, this is the worst result, which is actually not that one.
That's good.
That one. So that is the worst result in that it isn't any successes on its own, but as long as you've got Vitae, you can buy successes with it.
Screwed.
You've seen how the story card mechanism works. Obviously, it was relatively simple because it's tutorial 1, and you were doing these ability checks without any downside. But sometimes in future scenarios, if you fail an ability check, there will be a downside. Like if you're having to climb up a cliff, if you fail, you'll probably fall and take damage. Speaking of damage, the Vitae chips are actually dual use. So if you take damage, you flip them over. Okay? And that means that you will have less Vitae to then recover. Yeah, so that's how that works. But there you go. What was your initial thoughts?
I quite like it.
That's really good fun, that. I enjoyed that.
Good story.
Nice to follow along with, especially for someone maybe who isn't as familiar with RPGs. This might be kind of a good way to get their toes wet a little bit and see how they like it. And I like the tutorial session part. As a teacher, I can appreciate, starting it out this way, getting comfortable, and then moving to more difficult scenarios.
And obviously, you've had me to teach you the rules as we go, but that's what this rule book does. It literally says, choose the extra maneuver action. Right, your first move to this space. Right, we're now going to explain story cards, and it explains how that bit works. So it kind of guides you through, and if you looked at the cards, it actually says, so for example, this helping out card here, on the bottom of it, it says, active ability checks are described on page 9. So every card in this tutorial will tell you the page in the rule book with the rules that you need to work out how to resolve this card.
Oh, that's useful.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah, you also saw the overlays, which is where a card can, and the map will evolve as a scenario progresses based on the choices that you make and things you do. I also mentioned that this character board is a prototype. However, this board here is almost finished artwork. This is the style it's going to be. This is what it's going to look like. And these cards as well, this is also what these cards are going to look like. Now, if you're like me and you grew up in the 80s playing the fighting fantasy novels or very old RPGs from the 1980s, where the artwork was like this, there was a big nostalgia feel for me when I saw this artwork.
Yeah, it's Escape the Dark Castle, isn't it?
Yeah.
So one of the reasons why I thought you guys might like it from Polyhedron Collider is because you actually do a role-playing game. You play D&D. So, although this isn't a role-playing game, because you don't have the full flexibility of what you can do, I felt it was as close to a role-playing game as most other games in this genre.
Yeah, it's good. It's kind of RPG light, isn't it? You're still playing a character, you're still making decisions, you're still working as a party, which is great.
It looks like a kind of a more family-friendly and not app-driven version of, say, Mansions of Madness.
Yeah.
It's got that same kind of thing. There's lots of things to investigate. Can we investigate them all, or should we just get a shift on and do what we think is the main objective, which is which, I mean, we love Mansions of Madness. I think it's like, me and Andy's one of our favourite games.
Yeah, certainly, as I mentioned earlier on, Tutorial 1 is a split up. There's loads of things going on everywhere, and you have to kind of rush around crazy. Tutorial 2 is very different. Tutorial 2 does introduce another action on your player board, which, no surprise, is the attack action. And it will teach you how the rules of combat work, some of which you've seen already, because combat is another way of you're rolling dice and you're trying to get successes, and then there's defense, and you will take damage by removing these. And as I mentioned, the dots, that's where they come in important, because tactically you will get areas that are too full and things like that. So,
Brilliant.
Yeah, there we go. The other thing about this game, which I only know a little bit about from speaking to the designer about it, is your characters are actually more involved in the story than they are in many other games like this. It's not just, oh, here's my character and these are my skills, and there's the story. Each character actually has a personal story that's going on during the campaign, and that will evolve as the campaign goes on. So, yeah, the game is still being worked on. Tutorial 2 is ready right now. So if anybody wanted to play Tutorial 2 after watching this, you can. It is available online right now. Tutorial 3 is being worked on at the moment. We've been testing that, playtesting that for the last few weeks, and that should be ready. I think the idea is when the Kickstarter goes live next year, Tutorials 1, 2, and 3 will all be available online. Tutorial 2 is about an hour and a half. tutorial 3 should be about 2 hours.
Wow.
And then at the end of tutorial 3, you should know all of the rules of the game. It should have introduced pretty much everything.
So how long is the campaign expected to be, Paul?
I'm going to say 18 scenarios, and I'm going to then alt-tab to the chat and wait for the designer to tell me I'm wrong. So I'll say 18. Oh, while he's replying to that, he's also told me to mention the initiative deck. So the initiative card for this scenario was fixed. In future scenarios, it will actually be an initiative deck. And then at the start of each round, after you've chosen your actions, the card will be revealed. Now, it's always red before blue before green, but the monsters have their own initiative as well. So sometimes red might go before the monsters and blue might go before the monsters, but other times the monsters might go first, depending on the type of monster. Some of them are obviously quicker than others. But yeah, you cannot rely exactly on when you're going to go either before or after the monster. But yeah, red always goes before blue, which goes before green.
Okay.
30, right. So yeah, it's not 18, it's 30. So there's 30 scenarios. Yeah, not including the 3 tutorial ones. The 3 tutorials will not only teach you the rules, but they are actually the prelude to the campaign. So you might just think, oh, this was a silly story about a city that's been flooded and it's got nothing to do with anything. You're wrong. This actually, what's happening now is, I believe, part of the overall story. So yeah, 3 tutorials and then 30 actual scenarios that are going to come with it.
Wow, that's quite good.
Yeah, the first time I actually played this was one of the full scenarios. And it was after that we all had a big meeting about it and we said, this is great, but this is like jumping in at the deep end, and we were 2 hours before we'd even started playing. At that point, the decision was made to have 3 tutorials that will gradually teach you the rules of the game, and yeah, people can start playing fairly quickly. But once you've got that, you know, once you've learned all of that, the full scenario, it was really good, but it was just too many rules for us at the start. So these tutorials will make the game more accessible.
Brilliant. No, that's a great idea. Just ease you in gently while still playing the game. It's good.
Exactly.
Do you know roughly when the Kickstarter campaign is going to start?
I believe January, if everything is ready. And Max has just corrected me again. It's 28 scenarios plus 3 tutorials. Right, there we go. We got there in the end. Yeah, it's due for going on Kickstarter in January. Of course, you know, tutorial 1 is pretty much done. We're going to make a couple of tweaks, but nothing major. Tutorial 2 is mostly done. 3 is 75% there. You know, for me, I think, well, that's enough to go on Kickstarter. But you know what Kickstarter's like these days? People want to see more of what it's actually going to be like. So they're working hard on it in order to get as much done as they can.
Okay, brilliant.
Fantastic. Yeah.
There you go. Right, so we're all done for today. If you have any more questions, feel free to ping me them afterwards, or you know, I can get answers for you. But other than that, thank you very much for your time. What have you got planned for the rest of today? Have you still got stuff on, Mandy?
No, today I will be finished sewing my dress. That's what I'll be doing. Sewing is the forefront of today.
Right. Okay. And you guys, have you got anything planned for this evening?
Not a huge amount. Possibly maybe a game. I've got plenty of games on my shelf of shame, so I'll probably need to attack them. But failing that, it might be a Sunday night movie.
Right.
That's a good idea. I'm going to go look after the toddler, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
I can just hear Jay in the background starting to kick up a fuss.
He's been very good for the past hour, but he's just bringing Lego into me now, so I might have to go get a bit of Lego. That might be a nice way to round the evening off.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Just to make it complete, and I wasn't paid for this, I have got a game from CGE which turned up, which I need to punch out and learn the rules for.
Would that be Under Falling Skies or Lost Ruins of Arnak?
That's the Lost Ruins of Arnak.
Yeah. Well, you don't need to learn the rules. Just go and watch my video from yesterday.
Well, exactly. Yeah. Well, I'll actually be watching the game and rules video.
Yes. Right. And with that, I will say thank you very much again, and I will leave the Discord channel, and I'll go and say goodbye to everybody else. So cheers, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Right, and we're all done. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. This was my last stream of the weekend. And yeah, really good. Really enjoyed it. So yeah, thank you very much for watching these, and I hope you found them useful. as I say, this was just a very sneak preview of what's coming in this game. It's going to be huge and it's going to be epic, and it'll be coming later on. Philly's saying join the Discord server. To Brian, yes, you can join the Discord server, and if you wanted to play tutorial 1 now, you can. If you wanted to play tutorial 2 now and fight some monsters, you can. You can go and do that right now. But me, I'm going to go and get some dinner and then call it a day. So thank you very much for watching. Take care, everybody. See you next time. Gaming Rules is proudly sponsored by Game Toppers, upgrading your gaming experience. Visit GameToppersLLC.com.